So there's a lot of updates that people want to come to Rust Console, and some of the most asked questions as to whether we're going to be getting this update, whether it be a monument or something that will enhance the game, whether it be performance or so much so as an anti-cheat. I have asked just briefly a few questions to Pedro to gain his answer and knowledge surrounding these topics, and to give you an answer to the community as you guys as to where we're kind of at with the game. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about a few updates and things really generally coming to Rust Console. I say come in, I use that word very lightly actually, I should probably rephrase that, but I can't be bothered. So without further ado, getting straight into the mix of things, I think it's safe to say we would be happy with whatever Rust Console is going to put out if everybody was to be legit. Now, I've made countless videos. It's one of the reasons as to why I'm kind of quote unquote known on TikTok, basically complaining and just wanting the game to be more legit, how it kind of was in the first 1 to 4 wipes. But the thing is, it's mainly the people that are cheating themselves that are the ones complaining that I keep on raising this issue. And I guess there's, you know, a minority of legit players that are like, well, either just play the game or don't play the game, simple as that. And it's kind of more of a complicated situation when you are a content creator and one of the biggest on the platform for this game. And I'd like to think I'm a voice for you guys that who are legit, who want the game to be more legit. So I came forward to Pedro with the message saying this: "Hi Pedro, I wouldn't send you something if I didn't feel it would benefit in some way. I'm sure you're aware of the cronus Zen problem this game faces. From playing PC, they have this recoil guide when firing to show your recoil versus the gun's recoil. Basically covering and talking about the spray HUD that I really want to come to the game, not just to see whoever's cheating on who's legit, but to just see your improvement over the time that it takes you to get better with the recoil pattern." Pedro replied saying, "Thanks, I will have a look. We have something in the pipeline to counter those devices, we just need to make sure we get the data first." Now, whether or not they've started getting the data or they need to get the data, it's kind of two different things, whether you're already in the process of getting all that sort of stuff first or you still need to get round to doing that. And I hope that, you know, it's the first option where they're already looking into the data for this game and the cheating devices, because if you look at R6, they have just basically released a new update to do with Mousetrap. And if you're not aware of Mousetrap, it's basically an anti-cheat for Siege. It slows or delays the player from making any movements, and really a lot of people just kind of bypass it by the sounds of it, but it seems like it's worked. It's better than nothing.
Toast, just take a listen to what they said at the year-done reveal panel.
If you are detected by Mousetrap, you will be automatically placed into the PC matchmaking pool.
What? So anyone that is detected by Mousetrap to be M&K is going to be playing against PC players? The thing is, by the sounds of like the community, they're saying that the Zim players on console are better than the actual PC players for Siege. The only problem is I don't know how this affects Rust Console, because we're never going to be able to play like cross-platform with PC players, and nothing is what the Rust Console community has at this moment in time, and it's only getting worse. With the new release update on Mousetrap from Siege is that Ubisoft have basically said, well, if you're on Zim, you're going to play against PC players. And to be fair, I haven't seen that much backlash surrounding that new update, and it's really good to see that a game developer is taking some action to do with this situation. I kind of pushed a little harder, I don't want to kind of take liberties, but I did say to Pedro, just wondering, is there anything you can share surrounding the anti-cheat that would counter those such devices? Pedro replied saying, "As for the anti-cheat, we have been developing it for some time now," which basically, if true, it allows us to kind of like sit a little bit and be like, well, at least they're actually working on it and they haven't just been sitting on their ass making these new monuments and not actually producing this in the background whilst we play this game. Can't really get into the specifics of how it works. Once the tests are done though, we should have it in game for full effect. So although it'd be great to kind of gain knowledge of how this anti-cheat will work, I do understand from the game developer's point of view they don't want really anyone knowing because they don't want people bypassing it, which I 100% agree with. They did actually note in one of the dev blogs, I think like a year and a half ago now, that they were going to put an anti-cheat into the game. Now they have an anti-cheat surrounding God mode and flying around, which is where you see in the kill feed, well, I say kill feed, but the feed on the left, it says kick and player with withheld in the reason, but it's actually to do with either someone who's just you know, got a glitch by chance, or they're purposefully exposing a glitch and then it kicks them from the game because it has them like flying for a split second. So that anti-cheat kind of works. But I'm talking about the Zen and Zim cheating devices, and if that will have an anti-cheat. And it looks as if they're developing one, because they really need to if they're going to save this game at all. I mean, there's plenty of updates that we talk about as to how this game can be so much better, and that's true, but I don't think it's going to have the potential, the true potential of what Rust is capable of, if they don't take full effect of the cheating problem that this game has. And you know, I'm not going to hold back and say, oh, about 2% of the community is cheating. I think it's way higher than that. I think a lot of people would agree on that as well. However, it's really good to gain some information from Pedro, and it's really nice of him to get back to me in this type of way, where it's like, we are working on it, and you know, if it will come to the game, we won't shy away from, you know, letting you guys know. So 2 things that a lot of the community have been asking for. Rust Plus. So Rust Plus is basically an app for the Rust PC version, where anything to do with your base, pretty much, if we're talking like a short-term or shortened answer of this app, it basically tells you if your base has been raided whilst you're offline, or whether you're online as well. Like if a turret goes off and it's been destroyed, or a wall has been destroyed, or your TC's gone, it will send you notifications of this. And this would be great. This would be insane. Really fun to use whilst you're on Rust PC, and it makes you play the game that much more. So that was one of the things I asked Pedro, and the other thing was a new gen only version. Now, I wasn't really kind of expecting that much of an answer from Pedro, because these 2 questions are very out there, and if they were being worked on, I don't think they would give me the access to knowledge of, you know, if this is being worked on or not in the present day. So Pedro replied to my question on the topic of a Rust Plus app, and he said this: at the moment, we are not planning any app similar to Rust Plus, maybe in the far future, but not something we are planning to add just now. So there you go. I don't know whether we're going to be able to have like some sort of plugin from someone that is a third party. I know servers such as Rust OMG are trying to figure out a really good offline raid protection system, so it might just have to come from a third party, in which you might have to invest some money into the plugin for it to happen on your server. And then in regards to a new gen only version, Pedro says, as for a new gen version, there's no information I can share at the moment. If it happens, I'll be sure to communicate it to everyone. So there you go. Nothing anytime soon to do with a new gen only version. Now, we could just see how far D11 gets with optimizing both gens. As we all know, Rust Console came at a time where there was more people on old gen, and old gen gave them predominantly their revenue with skins and playing the game. However, I would like to think the majority of the community now on new gen, because as years go by and more games get on the new gen platform and they're not optimizable for old gen, such as GTA 6, FIFA, etc., that's when you can start to think, yeah, this game could be held back by old gen. And also, in my video covering the new updates surrounding the recall with the HLNMG and AK, the AK didn't have a new recall per se, however it did have an adjustment, and a lot of people were like, does it? And yeah, it does. There was like 2 parties where people were like, no, it doesn't, and there was others that were like, yeah, I do kind of feel as if there is some type of new adjustment. And Pedro did cover this within this message, saying the recall for the AK and why it was feeling slightly different, it was due to a potential bug to do with the aim assist. It should be fixed on the next update. The ironic thing about it is actually I preferred how the AK was with this bug than how it is, you know, on official servers without this update. However, it's nice to know that we have some clarity that the AK did have a bug and it will be fixed for the upcoming update, which is the 29th of February. So there you go, guys. There's some new news from Pedro himself talking about the anti-cheat, new gen only version, and a Rust Plus app. All that don't look like they're going to be coming to the game anytime soon. So it's a pretty dark video to be making. However, as always, if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like on the video. It helps out a lot. Subscribe if you're new around here. We just reached 3,000 subscribers, which is an amazing achievement for myself. Thank you for sticking around as well with the game obviously dying and then coming back alive with each and every update. It's really good to see that the viewership is like around 5,000, anywhere from 5 to 20,000. Always love to see you guys active, and I try and reciprocate that with the amount of videos I produce weekly. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next one.